and more accurately, of course, the better off we are. If we can get off a job 15 to 20 minutes faster, we can add another job in during the day. With the iManifold platform utilizing iConnect or iManifold technology, you're able to get in and out of the job much quicker. Using the system, I'm going to share my screen with you to show you what we're seeing on the screens. As far as measurements go, and about how to get a full diagnosis on a system, be able to do some upselling right there just from hooking up your system. If you're just using regular analog gauges, temperatures and everything else, you're not going to see the whole picture. With everything that you see, over 50 points of data in the palm of your hand right there, for say, you can take a look at it and diagnose if you have any type of duct issues, you've got a charging issue, things like this that you can accurately measure and go ahead and sell this to the customer. If they need a new system, you can see that the system's running as good as it can. It's not very efficient. It's using up a lot of energy. That way you can actually give them a report and show them in writing, what's going on with their system. That way they'll go ahead and, they've got proof in the pudding there, and you're more apt to be able to sell these things. So let's get onto my screen here. And here's your iManifold screen. Now, as we were talking about getting on and off the job with all the information here, we're going to just take a look at some information from demo data just so we can see everything that we're seeing here. Now, all this information here, if you're using a standard analog set of gauges, you're not going to see all this. You're going to see pressures. If you hook up to a thermometer, dual port thermometer, then you'll get your temperatures and everything else. You're not going to acquire all this information in one shot. There are some tools out there that will bring in a lot of this information. They'll calculate your superheat, subcooling, but we go far beyond that. And this is where the upselling, making the money is. When you look on the iManifold on your screen here, as you can see, your pressures are up here. Your low and your high side pressures. You have your superheat and your subcooling where you're sitting at, but you also have your air side measurements. Your return air dry bulb, wet bulb, supply air dry bulb, wet bulb. That way you can see if there's any type of a duct issue as well. Because if your pressures and everything else are running good, your superheat and your subcooling is good, but your supply air temperature, say that supply air temperature is close to 70 degrees. And you've got a 75-degree return air temperature. And this is in a couple of the, you walk through the house and everything else, you're finding out that we've got a duct issue. That's going to get you up into the attic. That's going to make you take a look and inspect the duct work on this thing, and possibly sell a nice duct job as well. Time on the job site, making all the calculations, where you need to be on your superheat, where you need to be on your subcooling, how much capacity are you actually making. With the iManifold iConnect system, we can display that right away. And that's by simply putting in a profile. Profiling the system is real easy. It's just a matter of the refrigerant, the configuration of the system, the metering device, and your condenser efficiency. Putting in your subcooling target, we can get to everywhere we need to go right on our screen. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you a profile. On this bar menu up here, I opened up, and we're going to go to equipment profiling. Now, the profiles that are in the system. Right here, I've got, seven or eight of these things in there. That's all you're going to ever need if you're doing HVAC on it. Refrigeration guys that do low temp, you're going to see more of those because they're more specialized. Each one's pretty much custom. Unless, say, you're working for McDonald's or something like that, and they've got pretty much the same equipment in each and every store. You can make that profile, name that piece of equipment, go back to that, and you know where you're at on that. You'll have your measurements ready to go. I'm going to show you what a profile consists of. Right here, the first question it's going to ask you, what's the refrigerant? We're going to go 410A. This particular, we're going to use a heat pump. We'll select heat pump in cooling mode. We've got a standard TXV on the system, and we're going to go to an ultra high efficiency. We're going to go to an 18 to 22 SEER. What type of evaporator? 95% of the time, it's going to be a standard operation evaporator. If you do have a system where they're matching these things up, where you got a 3.5 ton condensing unit for say, and they match it up with a 5-ton coil to get efficiency, you'll use a high sensible capacity. Superheat and subcooling, these targets are movable. So you're going to look on the design plate and go off of that as far as your subcooling targets, superheat targets. It's whatever is on the design. So you'll fill this in. We're going to create a quick profile, submit it. This is just confirming that I'm doing that. I tap yes, and we're going to name it. For this, just for identification purposes, I'm going to mark this as custom and enter. As you can see, the name of it is up here. We're using 410A. Now, this was a TXV system, 18 to 22. With all the measurements that were taken, with the indoor temperatures, the supply and return, and outdoor temperatures, pressures, and everything else, we all of a sudden have these targets up here. And you see these little tic tacs up here. That's where you need to be on your high and your low side pressures. So it's really easy to get a system out there, check it out, see where you're at, measuring that outdoor air temperature, you know where you need to be. It's not going to be running back and forth. You do have your superheat and subcooling. Scrolling across, we would have our targets right here. We should be at 118 PSI on our low side, 319 on our high side. We've got a 12-degree superheat target and a 10-degree subcooling target. Now, as you can see on here, number one, our pressures are a little bit high for where they should be. Our subcooling target is 10, we're at 16.3. Right here on our screen, you see this little triangle here. This is another part of getting in and out of the job very quickly. This is our troubleshooting triangle. You see we have an issue here. We've got high subcooling. We're out of our target range on here. Let's see what's going on. So we'll just tap this triangle and take a look. If you look at the system here, it says system is exhibiting symptoms of a refrigerant overcharge. Seasoned technician, he'd see it, he'd recognize that. Not seasoned technician, probably wouldn't. He'd probably be taking a look, maybe questioning some things. All of these red marks in here, these red indicators, they'll have a definition to go with them. So if you do have a green tech out there, instead of him calling you up and all this, this will help him out as well. Saves a lot of time, saves a lot of money, keeping you off that job site. He gets a textbook definition of everything. He can take a look, read it, understand it. Subcooling side, same thing. He's getting an education as well. Now on the top box here, system is exhibiting symptoms of a refrigerant overcharge. This box has a little eye in here. It's asking for information. Actually, it's telling you we have information here. So tapping that box, it'll give you the diagnosis, the symptoms and everything that's going on. It'll give you operational characteristics and recommendations to correct it. Now, it's not going to tell you to turn, turn it 4 times, take out exactly, 1.2 pounds of refrigerant. It's not going to tell you that, but it is going to definitely narrow down everything, give you a good idea of what to look at and how to take care of the problem. That's a big time saver right there. Now, there's something else on here that goes along with this troubleshooting. And we're going to use Bill here for an example. Bill's out on the job, and he's having some problems. I'm out on a job also. But Bill's got some things going on, and he's having some trouble. Now, everybody who's out there, in the tech world, how do you guys figure to fix a technician out there? He's on the other side of town. He's an hour and a half away from you, and he has an issue. And you try and talk it over on the phone. you know, what's your pressures right now? What's this? What's this? What's that? It's kind of runs into kind of a melee trying to get this information, writing it down, and everything else. Or if it's kind of difficult, you're going to turn around, you're going to get in your truck and drive over there. You know, good luck with that right now in Phoenix. You know, if I'm here in, say, Bill's over in Buckeye, that's an hour and 30-minute drive. Even worse, I'm on vacation. I'm in Hawaii right now, and Bill's over in New York, and he's having a problem. This is something we can do right now. Now, Bill calls me up. He says, Eric, I need a little bit of help.
All right, Eric, I need a little help, man. let me stream my data here, and you can see what I'm doing. So okay, now,
give me a sec, Bill. I'm on a job right now, but go ahead and start streaming your data, and I'll take a look at it.
All right, all right.
So now Bill's going to go into his application, and looking at my screen up here, this gear menu up in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to open up that gear menu and go down to our second tab here. It's called Tech Connect. Now, what we're going to look at right now is I'm going to open up my Tech Connect, and it'll automatically start searching for people in my network who are actually streaming data. So I'm going to tap Tech Connect. And as you can see right here, there's Stream My Data and there's Available Text. There's Bill Northrup. Now, if I was going to stream my data, I can stream my data as well right now. I just want to show you guys. Right here on Stream My Data, open it up. I start. I'm streaming my data, but you see, you don't see me there yet. So I'm going to refresh that, and you're going to see me there as well. But right now, I'm going to connect to Bill. So Bill's on a job elsewhere. I'm going to connect to Bill right now live. Now this is telling me that I'm going to stop streaming my data because I'm obviously not, I want to pick up Bill's. And then we have Bill's data.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, a little bit wrong with that there, Bill. But now seeing something like this, Bill's out there and I said, hey, put some refrigerant in this thing, will you? I'm seeing you got a 15.4 degree saturation temperature on there. That thing's freezing up nicely. You know, put some.
It must have escaped when I was putting all the hoses on.
You know, so guys, it's real easy to take a look at what somebody else is doing. I can see everything that Bill's got going on right there. I can still scroll across and use my menu. All this information here, I can still go through his menu, take a look at it. Of course, Bill, that's demo data, am I correct?
Yes, it's all demo data.
It's not even moving.
Right.
It's not even moving around. So
no.
As far as, you know, this being a money-making device, this right here just saved, on the average, about $1,300 for you, because callbacks, check it out. Check out how much a callback will cost you. Callbacks, you know, we've asked people around the country, you know, what's your callback cost you? You know, include everything. You know, get it down, because most people, they don't even see how much a callback really costs them. End of the month, they said, yeah, we had a decent month. It wasn't great, but if we could eliminate, say, 6 callbacks, that's a lot of money. Or
even just a truck roll to roll somebody out to help a guy, you know, an apprentice, somebody who needs a little help. This really is powerful in that regard.
Very powerful. And I mean, just the amount of money that you save off of callbacks pays for this and then some, because once you eliminate your callbacks, you know, depending upon the size of your company, and you know, if you're saying that you don't have callbacks, you're lying to me. We all know that. Just eliminating those callbacks and having very satisfied customers, because the last thing you want to do is go back out to that same customer that maybe a green tech was out there and he didn't fix it properly. You know, there's also other issues where, you know, okay, you do have a callback, but it's not really a technician's fault of a callback. This is another you know, piece of equipment. This could be a component that died and it wasn't related to his job. And I mean, that happens. That happens. And that's not a callback. That's just another little component, though.
Yeah.
But with all the data that you're seeing on the screen, you can tell if some other pieces, inside the system, the components are starting to fail as well. So it really gives you all that information. Very nice to do that.
All right.
So I'm going to cut off a bill here. I'm going to disconnect from bill, and I'm going to go back into my iManifold and finish my job. So this job over here, this, like I said, this was just demo data on here. Getting in and out of the job quickly, being able to get the job done right the first time is saving you a lot of money, is making you a lot of money. Word of mouth, as we know, is the best advertisement ever. If these guys say, hey, Bill's AC came out and he took care of my job, he took care of it right the first time, and I haven't had any issues since. But what Bill did, he also gave his customer a nice report, a nice detailed report, professionally done up, looks great. It gives them a nice bit of information. Give them something to put in their hands, hey, here's what my system's doing, here's the performance of my system. I'm going to share a couple of reports with you right quick. And then being that it is wintertime, we've got our heating season going up, and we're going to go through a furnace checklist. And we can do furnace checklist standalone now. I know a lot of you guys out there, there's a lot of gas furnaces out there, and I'm going to just go through this right quick with you, and you can see how fast and easy it is to do a gas furnace check. Does anybody have any questions right now about any of what we've gone over so far? No hands raised. We're good. Let's see here. Okay. So some of the reports I want to show you, the standard report that we have in our system, whether you're a cloud subscriber or not, standard reports, those things are they're unlimited. You can do them up anytime, and I'll show you a little example of one right here. This is the standard iManifold report, and all your data, as you've seen on the screen, all your data is filled in here. We go in and we've got our customer identification, the date and time of service, the technician that was out there, and when he's hooked up with his iManifold, it shows you which iManifold it actually was, whether it's an iManifold or an iConnect. That's a serial number that's electronically embedded, the serial number of the unit that did it. There's a job number that you can place in there. All your measurements and everything are all shown, and when they're measured by the tool, they're all verified. Now, this brings into a lot of confidence in your customer, because the customer, you can chicken scratch anything you want on a piece of paper, hand it over to them, and they can barely read the thing, and it's just what the technician wrote, let's face it. With this, you're generating a nice professional report, very nicely done. All your information is there. Now, this particular report right here isn't that friendly with customers that don't know anything about AC, because they're not going to be able to decipher what suction pressure, high pressure, everything else. But this will give you some info. This is a good one to keep in the office. This is the state of that system. It gives you all of your information, your high side measurements, low side measurement, air side, electrical, the system information, the model number and the serial numbers on everything, system performance from adjusted BTUs, total capacity, your realized capacity, your sensible latent and latent BTUs. So you'll see every bit of the performance, evaporator performance, how far away from the target are you on your split, the system efficiency with your EER and your dehumidification. So this is a simple report. Like I said, it's not very friendly with the general public, but now we're going to go into a money-making report here. These money-making reports here, this is something that you can share with your customers. I advise to hand it to them. If you're doing a repair on the system, show them what you did. Show them the value of what you did. It'll build up what you can sell your services for. You can also sell a tune-up sheet here. If you do like this pro report I'm going to show you, these pro reports will basically give a customer it's like giving their system a physical. And here's all the paperwork behind your system. This is what's going on right now. Yes, you're running great. You may consider here down the line a little bit to up your system, replace it, what have you. But just on a repair note, this report that we have is called Annualized Savings Report. Now, right here, you can place your own logo in there. This is something that's really nice when you're subscribed to the cloud. You upload your logo, makes it a nice professional report. You own that report. This is your company in here. Your customer's information, your company information right here, system performance, and as you can see, we've got a before and after. And this is what you did for the customer. Before, this is the way it came in when you first checked the system. That's the way it was operating. That's how much money they were spending a year approximately to run that system. After you did your tuning and your fixing and everything afterwards, it only cost them $670.72. So annually, they're saving almost $1,000 just off of your repair. So it gives them a nice peace of mind, a nice report that they can have and see what you did for them. Yes, Bill.
And Eric, the reason what we just released in our latest press release related to the cloud services that we've upgraded. What we're doing now, it used to be our reporting was mainly all app driven. It was all on the app itself, okay? Now what we do when you're a cloud subscriber, all your data goes to your account on the cloud. And so whether you lose your device, whether you want to have somebody else go and access it, you can do that and you can generate all your reports cloud-based and they're there for you all the time. So it's really a powerful tool. And once you start walking through it and using it and understanding it, it's a very powerful thing because you're building a database that is yours. It's your customer database. So that was all I wanted to say. I think it's pretty impressive how it works.
Oh, no, that's fantastic. And see, this is what, while you were talking about that just now, I just pulled it up. And this is what your cloud portal would look like. So as you can see, some of the things that I've done today, there's a couple of, these are furnace tests that I did. These are some older ones.
Yeah.
Let's just pull one of these up. These are one of our new reports. And I'll use this this one down here that we're calling Walmart here. And we're going to generate that report. And as you can see, there's our current logo that we're using. And I can select my report type. And let's go to a pro report. I selected pro report. We download that. And we open it up. Now this pro report, this is one of the reports that you can, this is a really nice setup. You can include pictures. There's a mechanical checklist involved. This is the report that you can put together for your customer. This gives them the whole physical, this is like getting a physical for your system. Everybody, they can take a look at it, what's going on with their system, the pictures, everything's in here. I don't know what I did on this report, but this is one from a while back. As you can see, there's that's where you can put your own logo in here. System information, system profile, your airside measurements and everything. When you geotag the system, the geolocation picture is shown on your report. There's your refrigeration circuit, the pressures, the temperatures, your superheat and subcooling. I didn't go any further on that report. Let me go back to another one for you. I'll show you a better example of one of these reports. This pro report right here. As you can see, we did do some changing around, and that's just recently when we upgrade the application, move some things around, made it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. There's our project information, geotagging of the piece of equipment. There's our refrigerant circuit. Now this was actually hooked up to a system. Our verified measurements showing that it was measured by the tool and not manhandled. You know, nothing was scratched in by a technician or anything. Not that there's technicians that aren't honest out there, but let's face it, if you can give this to a customer and show them that's a verified measurement, nobody penciled anything in, nobody overrode anything, this was all measured by the device, it builds up a lot of confidence. There's a mechanical inspection. This goes through the thermostat, the filter, drain line, blower motor, all the general information. Photo page. You can add in all the photos. If it's a new install, you can put in every bit of the install picture showing how nice of a job you did. And that's also good to have in your database for you to have to say, you know, something went wrong. There's a leak or something like that, and you take a look at how it was done. Well, maybe that did cause a leak, and you can always find out who did it, and maybe they need a little bit more education, a little bit more training on doing their installs. But these pro reports are really, really nice. Gives you the option of photographs in there, lots of other options. The charge and airflow. This little report just gives you a basic state. Very simple after a job's been done, or you're just checking it out to make sure that the charge is good and the airflow is right. Very simple, straightforward report. This is another one that's kind of friendly with your end customer, because it will give them a little bit of insight on what's really going on with the system. You're not going to have to do a whole lot of explaining. It's pretty much right there on the paper. Quick overview here. Making money, make that money. Replace that piece of equipment, or having the ability to let them know that you're going to need to replace that piece of equipment soon. Running these reports, using our system, being able to record that data as you're working on your customers' units, whether it's a commercial application, whether it's residential, whatever. When you watch the system over the years and you're able to record that data, you can see the degradation of that system. And you can also see what kind of money you've been putting in. These customers have been putting in a lot of money. You can give them a heads up and say, you know what, this is about the last season you're going to have on this. Plan on doing a replacement on this thing next year. And with all that data, you show them what's going on. We've watched it go through all this time. It's going to end up costing you money. When somebody knows about these things, it's a simple thing called budgeting. Budgeting, if I know I need something, if I know I need to replace the roof on my house, if I know I'm going to do it, I can budget it. It's not one of those last minute expenses to where, you know, oh my gosh, you know, here I'm hit with 20 grand to do this. I mean, we're talking about the same kind of money for an HVAC system in a decent sized residence. Being able to budget, number one, you can tell your customer, give them a heads up, they can budget in, they'll be very thankful for that. And another thing, it's time to upgrade them on their pieces of equipment. With a budget, we can go for some better equipment. You can sell them higher SEER, higher efficiency system, make them more comfortable. If they can budget it, they'll buy it. It's just like buying a new car. If you budget in a car, you're going to say, hey, you know what? Next time I buy a truck, I want the one with, you know, I want the heated and cooled seats. I want a sunroof, and I want everything else. It's easier when you're on a budget. This is where we go into this equipment replacement report here. So going down the line, when you're talking with your customer and you see that there's a tested amount, that you're taking a look at what this thing's operating cost is for the year. After the repair, it drops it down a little bit. But in this report also, we've got a 12-year-old unit here. You take a look and, you know, on the model number and serial number and everything else, you've got that information of how old that system is. So now after you do a heavy repair, you know, and mind you, this is demo information. This is stuff that I just put in. I'm sure a lot of these repairs, they could be a lot less and they could be a lot more. Even after the repair, we're still at $1,216 a year annual operating cost estimate. So if you do this job, you're saving $436, and your return on your investment is 3.4 years. I'll calculate it for you. Your usage before was 3,385 hours a year, and now it dropped down to 2,200. So it'll give you your benefits here, but also we're still dealing with a 12-year-old system. It's still a low SEER unit. Your AC is working good now, and we did do some duct modifications, but it's recommending replacement because of the age. So if we do the replacement, you're entering in your replacement cost. Now you guys have your price books and everything else. So your technician out there, if he's a technician / salesman, this is ideal for him to work with. Now, if he's just a salesman, you have your cloud. You've got that information. You can do this report from anywhere now. So if you do have a salesman that never gets dirty, he can pull that information, visit with this customer, talk to him, and show him what we can do for him here. So after the replacement here, if we do set up a new system, and this is based off of information that you're inputting in, based off of SEER, ER ratings, everything else from, you can pull these off of AHRI, and it'll bring it in for you. So your replacement cost is $6,500. You've got an annual savings now of $969.67. So your ROI is 6.7 years, which isn't a bad thing. They've got new warranty now. So here's your usage now. It'll go down through your energy consumption, everything else. But now you've got a new 18 SEER 3-ton Lennox unit. This was just, like I said, demo information. You can add in, throw in your warranties, what have you, and it'll boost that sale. Makes it a lot easier. It's an easier picture for them to say, this is what I'm doing right now. If I repair it, this. If I get a new one, here it is. Very nicely done. Very, very professional looking. It also has your information on it. So let's see here. Bill, do you got anything right now before I get into doing a quick furnace check?
No, I think that's great. I think everybody has a sense of the reports and the value they are. Makes a lot of sense. And again, you're doing the data. You're getting the data. You profile a system. It geotags that system. The data goes to the cloud. At any time, you can go and retrieve these reports. So that's the power of that. It's really very well designed and laid out.
And Eric, this is Lori. If I can just interrupt, you've got about 6 or 7 minutes left. And I might just, if you'd like me to read off some of the testimonials that folks have told us of how this system makes them money, I am prepared to do that if you have time at the end.
Yeah, what I'm going to do, right there at the end, if you want, I'm going to put in some furnace measurements. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put in a supply and return air temperatures with some humidities right now. So while I'm doing that, you can watch me do it. Lori, you got a couple seconds. You might also want to talk about our new product.
Oh, yeah.
Our sleeves, the magnetic sleeves. These are handy. This is awesome. This will change up what you do here because placing these probes, 95% of all of our grills and registers out here are, it's all steel. And trying to poke these things in, these little magnets in here, because you don't have to always drill holes in your ductwork. Because the end product is actually what's being delivered out of these registers and grills. So this will really help you out. Lori, talk about it for a sec, and I'm going to put in these measurements real fast.
Okay, good deal. Well, the probe magnetic sleeves are now available. They come 2 in a kit, and they're $24 for the kit of 2. So those are available. They're on our website, and I think actually Eric invented them, and he says they're just the handiest thing he's ever found. So I'd like to tell you a little bit more. And Bill, is my screen, can you hear me okay? Is my screen showing?
Yes.
Okay, great. I wanted to read off some testimonials that we just heard from the field, and this is pretty interesting in how it fits together with what you guys are learning here. This was Carl Fisher. He said, When I get a new customer, I like to go through all the basics of their system first before I gauge up. Then I gauge up and have a look at what's happening. I will purposely go and stand near the customer without saying anything, looking at my iPad and almost, quote, ignoring the customer. Just long enough to make things slightly uncomfortable for them, about 45 seconds. The customer at this point is thinking, aren't we paying this guy a lot of money to look at our fridge? Is he texting someone or playing a video game? At that point, I break the tension and show them by showing them my iPad and walking through what I'm doing and how I'm monitoring their system real time and wirelessly. Usually their eyes are big as saucers at this point, and they are always impressed. I thought that was pretty funny.
Nice stuff.
Another guy, Armando Diaz, says, I'm able to provide my clients with a full, accurate report of their system operation. It's a snapshot of how the system is running in areas of efficiency, capacity, and comfort. And the last one that I really liked is the ability to show my customers a third-party verification. And this is from Robert Hirsch. Of all the data in their system, efficiency, capacity, and any possible issues that might be happening. So we've got people just giving us testimonials of how impressed they are with the system and how much it means to their customers. So I thought you'd like to hear that, Eric, for everybody who's here today.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That is perfect. A lot of people talk about, like I said, if you can give them the proof in the pudding, give something, put it in their hands. That's where, I mean, if I get my truck worked on or something like that, I want to know. I'm not going to just take somebody's word. You know, show me what's going on. Because now with the internet and everything, we all suddenly become self-proclaimed engineers anyway. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go through this quick furnace check and button this up real quick. So here we go, back to sharing a screen. We've got supply and return air going. The heater's been running for a while. Very simple to do a report on this. 3-bar menu up in the top, open it up. Projects and reporting. Now, mind you, I am cloud-based right now, so I can show you this report coming up. We're going to go to a new project, make this new, and I'm just going to put this as a test. Submit that information. Our project's done. Our customer info. This is where you're going to put in your customer's first name, last name, contact info. Put in their phone number. Put in an email. I'm going to put in my email. I'm going to geotag that address. Now, just remember, when you geotag, make sure that your location is on your smart device, because that's what it's tracking. So I take a look. That's the address. I use it. Everything's tagged up in here. Your customer info's in here. The electrical information's in there. Your climate zone, estimated usage, everything's in there already. Hit submit. We're almost ready to do this. Equipment information. Since we're doing just a furnace, you don't have to put in any condenser information, nothing. We could do this all on just a standard furnace. So we select furnace. We're going to select the manufacturer. Who's your favorite today? We're going to put Galpa Export Corporation. Just pull it out of the blue. Model number. You put in your model number, whatever you want. There's a model number. Serial number. Whatever that serial number may be. If they do have barcodes, that barcode, scan barcode for the model number and serial number. For the most part, I've seen those things are really working well now. We put in our efficiency. This is a 90. Rated BTU is 110,000. We tap rated BTU output, it calculates it for you. Minimum gas pressure will go half. Rated max, we'll go 15. We don't have to put the rest of the stuff in. We'll say allowable temperature rise, we'll go 40 to 140. And we'll just submit that information. Where it says system profile, you can skip that. This is where the guys get hung up and they say, I put this in and it's not putting in right. It's because we're doing a standalone furnace test. Skip the system profile, go straight over to testing and performance. We've got our supply and return air temperatures, capture measurements in, hit OK. Now we're going to go down here to reports and checklists. The second tick down here is add our gas furnace check. So now it'll bring us into a screen for the furnace information with a checklist. Up at the top, use the values from equipment information page. That is bringing in your information as far as the model number, the serial number, and the efficiency and everything else. So we got a single stage furnace. Now I'm just going to run down this quick. You can do it as you like. I'm just going to run down this really fast so we can get to the report. These are 3 touch on here on our checklist. Our initial setting, when they ask you for something, you can tap that in there. Was it level? 1 tap is green. 2nd tap is yellow. 3rd tap is red. Needs immediate attention. So we'll just go down here. That's out of whack right there. Filter, standard, dimensions. This also saves in there too, so that when you have to go back, you know exactly what the filter size is and how many filters are on that particular project. We're not messing with the condensate. Whoops. Now we get into our furnace unit pre-check. We're going to verify that the burners are clean. If you've got a hot surface ignition, check it out, ohm it out, and it'll ask you for the resistance on that. We'll go down all these and say that everything was good and nicely done. Now we go to our furnace on our high fire. If you do have the, which I advise you to get, they're really nice and they work really well, is the back rack combustion analyzers, because we're going to do a combustion analysis on this. And what the back rack does, it produces a QR code. This is a QR code right here. These are these little spot-looking targets, and they read just like barcodes. So we'll go furnace on high fire, pre-adjustment. Then we're going to clock this gas meter. Clocking a gas meter is easy. It's going to ask you to make sure that the system's operating for a bit. We're going to continue this off. Now, clocking a gas meter, if you don't know how to do it, you're going to take a look at your half cubic foot. It's usually on the very end on your gas meter. And what you're going to do is you're going to have the system running, furnace on full power, and you're going to clock this thing as it rotates 1 complete turn. So you start the clocking, and you watch the half cubic foot meter make its round. When it makes it full round, that's when you're going to stop your clocking. So we're going to stop our clocking right about now. As you can see, we got 114,532 BTUs of input there. We're going to measure our temperature rise. This is on natural gas. Now our data on here, mind you, I put that in, so we're not capturing the active data. We're going to submit this down here to the mechanical checklist, very bottom here. When we submit this, there it shows our actual temperature rise of 51 degrees. So it adjusted 67 to 118. Actual input 114,532, output 103 and 79. Now we're going into our perform combustion analysis. That's where you bust out the tools. Our ambient CO. We measured it with a CO meter. We got nothing. Combustion air temperature. We got a little preheat in there. And now we're going to scan this QR code. This is where the combustion analysis comes into play. So when you scan this QR code on your device, you're going to allow your device to take pictures. You scan the QR code. There comes my QR code. And you see it picked it up right there. And now, all of our combustion information is in here. 85.8%, stack temperature 250. Our CO2 is 9.0, O2 is 5.0, and CO is 130. Now, on those combustion analyzers, you'll also have excess air, you'll have stack CO, you'll have others in here. It's going to read that off. It does not transmit that because it's a separate test on there. Our excess air, we're going to go 45%. Our stack, we'll just say we had 10. And our draft, that is going to be a negative 0.04. Now we've got all of our information in there. We can go into a service wrap up, make sure that everything's operational, everything's all good. We submit that information in. Now, as you can see, our mechanical checklist, we imported those things. We're not selecting air conditioner heat pump, so just leave that alone. Just go ahead and submit that because we already put in enough information of what we need. Everything's greened up now. Now we're going to take a look at this gas furnace check. We did measurements on pre-adjustment. Now we're going to generate that report. And bingo. Nice report, professionally done. Here's your logo. This is where your logo would go. Customer information, your technician, everything else. Your furnace inspection, system information there, model number and serial number, your temperature rise, your input and output on your BTUs, your combustion analysis test, along with a verified measurement showing that, yes, this was measured by the tool. Very nice report. This is something that a lot of people do not give to their customers. This is definitely worth the money. You can bill them for this report. They'll take a look and see how much carbon monoxide they've got going in the system here, our ambient CO. Afterwards, our CO in here, you know, after combustion and everything else, showing that their system is safe, it's operating properly. So really nice. Our winter season's upon us. Sell that report. That's an added bonus. Sell that report. You can do it. Really.
Thank you, Eric. Good job. And thank you all you folks for coming. And we look forward to seeing you again at the next iManifold webcast. So,
yep. In the meantime, if you have questions, our phone number is 716-699-2031. Visit our website at iManifold.com. Questions about anything, don't hesitate. Call us, email us, whatever it takes. We're here for you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
We got a question here. Is
there a question? Yeah. Thank you, Chuck. All right.
Oh.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Call it.
Very good.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.